Sanji versus Marco will be a complete stomp, and I'm going to prove it to you. What's up guys, Restless Gambler here, and in today's video, I decided to fight the One Piece community a third time. I've gotten many requests to cover Sanji versus Marco, and I honestly think that it would fit my agenda to put my thoughts out in video form. So the question at hand is, what would happen if the seasoned former first commander of the Whitebeard Pirates went against one of the wings of the future Pirate King? So like always, make sure to like, subscribe, and watch until the end. Marco is a character with scaling I personally like to overrate, but in this video, to be fair to Sanji, I will be down to earth while scaling him. Starting off with physical stats and showings in battle regarding strength or attack potency, we have some nice showings for the man himself. In chapters 553 and 554, Marco has a slight face-off with Kizaru. To only talk about the strength feat from this encounter, he kicks Kizaru out from the air and into a building. Now, this didn't do any damage, but it can be seen as a feat as he pushed Kizaru past his own block. Then later in the war, in chapter 566, Marco kicks Aokiji into a wall. Is this all that man can do? And again, it does no damage. Aokiji pulls up again unscathed. But we can't hold this against him because these are admirals, so a good gauge we can get from him is against commanders. In chapter 1006, Marco is casually 1v2ing King and Queen. Now the debate on if Marco made King bleed here is contentious, but what I really want to emphasize are his attacks against Queen. Marco hits Queen off guard with Phoenix Brand, and Queen describes it as some sort of shockwave. This is a clear example of Marco casually just having Duraneg. He's making Queen bleed out buckets, not to mention him sending Queen and King flying multiple times. When it comes down to Marco's speed, it's something that people really don't talk about. Again, the little encounter with Kizaru. He's casually intercepting light attacks while they were en route to Whitebeard. And on top of that, he's matching Kizaru in speed. Alright, maybe I'm going too far with this. But regardless, his interception of the attack is an amazing feat in its own right. When he 1v2s King and Queen, you can see him blitzing both of them in a similar fashion. So yeah, he's meant to be a speedy character. Now, regarding his durability, it's very complicated to go over. And this is mostly because of his hacks in the form of regeneration. He actually has like the best regeneration we've ever seen in the series, not gonna lie. I mean, Marco could get stabbed by random fodder beast pirates, but survive solely because he can regenerate. We see this in full motion during the war. Kizaru catches Marco off guard and literally kills him with 2 lasers. But the only reason he survives is because he can regenerate. But the best durability feat I could find for him was him taking Garp's punch. But the point I'm trying to get across is that Marco's actual durability is carried by his regeneration. But he does have something in his arsenal that makes up for his durability. The reason I didn't mention Kizaru's light attacks being blocked by Marco is because the block was likely due to his named attack. Kizaru uses his named attack Yasukani's Sacred Jewel and Marco blocks it completely. But I speculate that this was his named ability Undying Thistle. It gets named later in the series against King. His defense with that is actually incredible. He even used it against Kaido's Blast Breath. The only thing about this is that it's a forward defense and anyone fast and smart enough to adjust would just attack at another angle. Marco's hacks are absolutely crazy, and this is all stemming from my favorite devil fruit in the entire series. His regeneration is matched by literally no one, and yes, not even Sanji. His regeneration is so potent he can literally revive himself. He has Duraneg in the form of shockwaves. He can fly. He's been confirmed to have armament and observation hockey for the people who somehow don't believe he has it, and he has flames. Marco is an all-around demon, dude. So underrated. But with all that said, I've scaled Marco, so let's move on to scale Sanji. So in my previous 2 Sanji versus battles, I scaled both his pre-awakened and awakened form to emphasize the buff. This time I'm only scaling pre-awakened Sanji just to get my point across. That point being how Marco was stronger than Sanji before he awakened. In the strength department, Sanji, despite having Duraneg, couldn't do any lasting damage on Queen. All his attacks were connecting, but Queen's own endurance was just too crazy. Look at the comparison between when Marco hits Queen off guard and when Sanji hits Queen off guard. You can even look at Queen's statements when he gets hit by them. When Marco hits him, bro is flabbergasted at the Duraneg. When Sanji hits him, he starts laughing. But let's not downplay Sanji's physical attributes. Let's not forget Helicopter Queen. In speed, again, Marco just f***s him up. Sanji when fighting Queen isn't blitzing him at all. In fact, I could argue that they're relative in speed. In chapter 1023, Queen is just casually reacting to Sanji's kicks and defending himself. And even after that, Queen is casually hitting Sanji. Given Sanji wasn't fighting correctly because of his body, but he's still showing a little bit of relativity. Then we look at Marco, who's fighting both King and Queen, but still somehow manages to blitz Queen. Marco was flexing on that man. In durability, he gets absolutely fodderized by Snake Queen. But he is still willing to fight after it, so it isn't the same feat of endurance. Before Snake Queen, however, Queen's attacks would hit Sanji, but they really wouldn't hurt him that much. And in Hax, Sanji didn't really have anything. Yeah, he could fly, but like, Marco can too. Okay, I think I've proven Marco's utter dominance against pre-awakened Sanji. But where the scaling actually gets crazy is when Sanji awakens. After his awakening, he's like a pseudo Marco. He can regenerate, fly, kick hard. It's actually crazy. But let's talk about his individual stats first. In strength, from not being able to do any lasting damage to Queen, now he's making him scream out in agony and sending him flying even in hybrid form. And this is in Diable Jambe. I say this because upon his awakening, we get introduced to the crazy ability known as Ifrit Jambe. Sanji enters Ifrit Jambe and slaughters Queen. Sanji hits Queen with a combo in Ifrit Jambe and Queen literally logs off. He's done. He's finished.
Hey, disconnected.
And Sanji was like,
come on, let him get up, let him get up, let him get up.
Only he took that too seriously because he sent Queen into orbit. The people in the Flower Capital thought he was a lantern at that point. But man, post-awakening Sanji just fodderizes that guy. And to think that he was just having trouble doing lasting damage on Queen is crazy. In speed, holy shit. So before, Queen was blocking Sanji's attacks, hitting Sanji, all that stuff. But then my guy Sanji awakens and the John Cena theme started playing. Queen was shook. And he does this not once, but twice in base. Even while in Queen's grip, Sanji breaks his arm before he even realizes Sanji kicked him. Oda really emphasizes on Sanji's speed. It's really nice to see. It's even funnier when you see Sanji doing this. Wait, hold on. Let me say this in a way where it seems like he broke One Piece. Sanji is supposed to be on the other side of the island. Edison is sat up on the top of... I don't know what the hell that is. Let's just say a mountain. Edison is sat up on a mountain. The Jinbei Seraphim sends a laser. Let's remember these are Kizaru lasers. He sends a laser and we see a panel of it literally traveling to Edison. Sanji appears out of nowhere, grabs Edison and takes it back to where Zoro is before the laser could even hit him. And Zoro didn't even know Sanji was there. He blitzed literally everyone in the vicinity. Mind you, Sanji is doing this all while in base. Did that sound dramatic enough? Let me know in the comments. His durability changes drastically. Queen hits Sanji with a series of named attacks, and Sanji completely tanks them. His exoskeleton increases durability tenfold for sure. And in tandem with his regeneration that allowed him to heal all the bones in his body being broken, Sanji is a f***ing monster. On the topic of regeneration, that is just one of Sanji's many hacks. I won't go into great detail because I have before, but to list it, he has Armament Haki, Observation Haki, Flight, Blue Walk, and the Conjuring of Flames. So after scaling both Sanji and Marco, which wielder of Blue Flames will come out on top? Before we get into the actual fight simulation, I think I should go over the rules and regulations of the fight. These two will fight in somewhere like Green Hill Zone. I don't know why, but we'll go with it. The only rule of the fight is that the one who gets killed or knocked out first is the loser. So with that said, let's simulate the fight. Play the Budokai music. The fight starts and... Whoa, hold on. Sanji didn't disappear? Marco must be some crazy fast dude to perceive Sanji, right? Wrong. I'm just being nice. Sanji Perception Blitz Queen, someone who could perceive Marco in his strongest form. Let me say that again with a little bit more info. Sanji in base, Perception Blitz Queen in his strongest form, hybrid form, multiple times. While Queen in his base form can perceive Marco in his strongest form, hybrid form. And if I want to push the agenda a little bit more, Sanji Perception Blitz Zoro here. Okay, don't take that seriously, bro. I was joking. Anyways, let's say Marco perceives base Sanji. Well, Diable Jambe and Ifrit Jambe would just obliterate him. If you damage Marco fast and heavy enough, you can kill him. The lasers from Kizaru prove it. He basically killed him, but the only reason why he didn't was because it was only 2 lasers and he regenerated from that. Sanji is comboing that boy from a million different angles before he could even regenerate. You know, while making this video, I just thought of Sanji and Diable Jambe f***ing Marco up, and Marco just trying to find a way. Then Sanji just appears in the sky and kicks him back, and you just see Marco sleeping on the floor. Nah, I'm wildin'. Let's just close the curtains on bro. In conclusion, Sanji slams Marco, and I've pushed the Sanji agenda once again. Marco doesn't have the speed, strength, durability, hacks, or goatness to fight against the Straw Hat Crew's monstrous cook. I think this is going to be the last Sanji versus video I'm going to do in a while because it's getting really repetitive. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, consider leaving a like and subscribing. I really appreciate it. And I'll catch y'all in the next one.